So now we are going to start to enter into the subject. I'm going to present you on behalf of the Helix Nebula Consortium, which is very well represented in this room, what we intend to do as a Helix Nebula, the Science Cloud. So Helix Nebula, the Science Cloud initiative, is a partnership that was born from a vision. This vision is clearly spelled out in the strategic plan we've produced together with ESRIN, and which is online, is that by 2020, all scientists of all disciplines will choose the Helix Nebula infrastructure as their first option to store, access, process, and analyze data. It will contain vast quantity of data, open source tools, and a literally infinite amount of computing power accessible and usable from any kind of computer, smartphone, or tablet device. Science will make significant progresses by applying data sharing and interdisciplinary research using this infrastructure as the fundamental tool. This infrastructure will have such a reliability and worldwide recognition for its implemented security privacy scheme that also commercial companies will be using this high security area to derive patent. So this is the vision we had when we meet in this room in June 2011 to endorse the strategy and start the Helix Nebula initiative. What is our key objective? Is that we start with the European research area that should drive the development and implementation of a secure and globally recognized European cloud computing infrastructure. We initially target science users, but the idea is that this infrastructure will become the platform for Europe under public governance, ensuring open standard and interoperability and adhering to European policy norms and requirements, and can evolve further to other public organizations, even private organizations, private commercial organizations. So this is the strategic plan. It's online. It's a 20-page document, and it explains very clearly what we want to do. We have 4 goals. The first one is to set up a sustainable multi-tenant cloud computing infrastructure in Europe, initially based on the needs of the European research area and space agencies. Second is to identify and adopt policy for trust, security, and privacy on a European level. Third is to create a lightweight governance structure involving all stakeholders. And finally, to define a short and medium-term funding scheme. So to make this happen, we create the Helix Nebula Science Cloud Partnership. So why did we create a partnership? Because the scale and complexity of services needed to satisfy the foreseen needs of European IT-intense science research and space organization are far beyond what can be provided by any single company, and will require the collaboration of a variety of service providers together with SMEs. And by partnering with science and space organizations, it shall cover most, if not all, the need of a public cloud infrastructure. So we, European RDR, research and development labs and space agency, telecommunication, IT industry, SMEs, EC project, we want to break the loop that if there is no technology, and technology is a very generic word, this means there is no need, there is no interest. Before electricity exists, nobody saw the need of electricity, interest for looking for electricity. We didn't know what it was. So we want to be the game changer. We want to build the technology and show that it's needed and it creates interest. So who is in this partnership? We have the IT providers at the very broad sense. We have scientific and space organization. We have SMEs, and we have EC and EC projects. How? How does it work? First of all the entities that are in the consortium have signed a non-disclosure agreement. Scientific and space organizations are committed to provide resources to make it happen. And they give also to the supplier access to their data and user communities. The EC support by helping in developing the policies and strategy that are needed to help this initiative to take off and build the trust needed that it is the direction where also Europe wants to go, and also through targeted calls under the FP7 program. Some EC projects are with us, and they help us to define standard or open source, also by contributing or using the Helix Nebula platform. The IT providers commit resources, they share investment, they agree on standard, and they accept interoperability. SMEs They are very key in this process because they make the link between the demand side and the supply side, I mean the big players. And they commit also resource a lot from their side, and they make this link, and they act as catalyzer. So how does it work so far? The consortium includes all participating supply side and demand side company and organization. We have different type of status. We have the member status and adopter status. Everybody signed a non-disclosure agreement, and interested parties can also register. There is a procedure to become a new member. It's on our website, and here's the address of our website. During the proof of concept that took place in 2012, we set up a very light governance model that proved to work, which was that we had a user board, which include all the participants to the flagship program from the 3 big organizations. We had a service provider board that include all the providers that were actively working into this proof of concept, and with 2 subgroups. One was what we call the Tech Arc group, looking at the technical architecture of Helix Nebula, and another group, which is a Serve Arc group, which look at the service architecture of Helix Nebula. And these 2 groups were represented in what we call the management team, which was bringing together the user board and the service board to take decision, of course, in a full transparency to everybody on a basis on consensus. So where do we want to go, and why do we want to go there? What is our long-term goal? Is to create a multi-tenant open market for science, where data, scientists, funding bodies, SMEs, and downstream industry are meeting to work along common interests. We call it an ecosystem, and I will tell you why, because it should implement many-to-many relationships, quickly being established to transform data into valuable information. So we want to create an environment for growth where Europe can take leadership, both on the industrial side and on the scientific side. And we want to operate as an ecosystem. Today, the market is fragmented. We try to bring all the parties together, and by doing so, we build on sustainability of diversity. Who will be the contributors of this ecosystem? The scientists, of course, the data providers, the IT suppliers, the funding bodies, R&D labs, SMEs, and downstream industry. We expect everybody to have a role to play and to find benefit on this infrastructure. So what are the expected benefits? The first one is that we build scale to allow you and us to handle elasticity for our needs. There is a risk sharing between the partners. Not one single partner take all the risks. We are all in the same boat. We want compliance with EC rules and policy in terms of privacy, security, and ethics. We want to create opportunities for SME, business opportunity for SMEs. And we expect breakthrough in science, thanks to the cross-domain fertilization, having together the data, the tool, the funding, the capacity, the peers for all kinds of science. So how do we fit with Helix Nebula and Europe 2020? So the Horizon 2020 framework is for research and innovation. It's built on 3 major pillars: strengthening the EU position in science, and I think this is one of our goals; strengthening industrial leadership in innovation, and certainly for the cloud aspect, we are working on this; and tackling societal challenges, and as you will see with the flagship that will be presented later, this is also something we were trying to do. So we can say that the Helix Nebula vision and the strategic goals are fully aligned with Europe 2020 strategy. So validating our approach, as I said, 15 months ago in this room, we agree on a strategy. We say, okay, we have to validate the concept. This is why we had a proof of concept. So 2011, we endorsed this strategy. We agree on the partnership. We select flagships, use cases, and we define the governance model. The full year 2012 was the proof of concept that was developing the flagship, deploying the flagship. And now we are entering, because we validate the proof of concept, entering in the pilot phase, the second part of the pilot phase, where we are going to analyze functionality, performance, and financial models. And we hope that as from 2014, we will go toward an open market for science. So the 3 initial flagships that have been used to validate the proof of concept is the Atlas High Energy Physics Cloud use. I'm not going to enter in detail for this flagship because we will have an extensive presentation afterwards on the flagship and on the results, the genomic assembly in the cloud from EMBL, and the supersite exploitation platform from ESA and partners. So these flagships were chosen because they address scientific challenges with societal impact. They were very strongly sponsored by the user organization, and they stretch what is possible to do today with the cloud. Now we are entering the phase where we extend the partnership. This means we have implemented a process to have new suppliers or new users able to join. So newcomers can either submit new flagships, and there will be some candidates also presented later today, that propose innovation in terms of functionality, performance, scope, business opportunity, or impact on the European cloud computing infrastructure, or only use Helix Nebula as a platform as is. This flagship use case must be sponsored by user organization and service providers. We expect a strong commitment from both parts. And they are selected to be as complementary as possible to maximize the coverage of the objective outlined in the strategic plan. The partnership has grown in less than a year from 20 to 34 members, so from February 2012 until these last days. So I finish here my presentation. I think, yes, we are exactly on time for the coffee break, and then we reconvene at 4 o'clock, and you will have a presentation of the 3 flagships I just mentioned. Thank you very much.